What's up, y'all? So for today's video, well, tonight's video, because I'm filming at night, and I got this big old, bro, this light's about to get so bright in here, it's gonna be insane. I'm blue, I'm blue, I'm blue. Today we're gonna be installing the intake and the little breather. Now, what makes this install dope? What? Well, rip. But as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. What makes this install so great is that I'll also be jetting the car. Now, my bike is different from, you know, other stock Ruckuses. I have a stretch kit on it, and I don't have the cover anymore here, so I don't have to take off this no more. I don't have to take off any of this stuff. All I have to do now is take off the seat frame, which is six 12mm bolts, which I have ready to go, boy. Once we take off the seat, I'll see what I'm dealing with the whole carburetor thing, because again, I literally have not one idea what I'm doing. As I'm learning, hopefully you're learning. So here we have the carburetor fully exposed. Well, not fully exposed, because I still got to take it off. But I'm looking at what I have to take off, and I know I have to remove this clip, some coolant hoses, and some other stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna try my best to figure this out, bro. I'm gonna try my best. So since 50% of the install is removing this, we're gonna start by removing every attachment that has to do with this. Every hose that's attached to here that attached to the carburetor, remove it, okay? Cool. So we're gonna remove the airbox from the frame itself and just let all the lines dangle so I know exactly where to remove so it's not all clustered up right here. So to do this, it was a bolt that goes here, but that was just off it. But there's one right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a 10mm in there. Go ahead and remove that. So now that we got the airbox just like in this position, we can see exactly where all the hoses go. Like there's a hose that go here, got a hose that go all the way to here. I'm guessing the first step in all of this is removing this completely with all the lines and hoses disconnected. So let's do that. All right, so you're gonna remove the hose that goes from here. There's a hose that goes to here, right? I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's one that goes there. And there's one that goes right on the choke itself. So this hose right here goes right here. So remove that, and we should be good. Junk, son. This is junk, son. Yeah, but we looking like our bikes, son. So now that we got the airbox removed, we are much more exposed to the carburetor. So it looks pretty easy from here. You have this line that goes into the carburetor. You have your throttle cable. What else? I know we have a coolant hose somewhere, but I don't see it. Thinking this line right here is the coolant hose. I'm not too sure, but I know there's a coolant hose that run into the carburetor. So I got the throttle cable removed, and if you're not used to how to remove it, you got two nuts right here. You get the nut to where it's in this position, to where like it's ready to push forward and slide up, and then it pops out with this thing right here. I don't know why I haven't bought another kit lens. I hate filming on this 12mm lens, bro, because it doesn't autofocus. When I need it to autofocus, it don't zoom in. But your boy is making progress getting this carburetor off. Okay, so the carb is pretty much ready to come off. All the hoses I showed you earlier, just take them off. You have a hose there. You have a hose right underneath this sensor right here. You'll see it. And you have the electronic choke that goes there that just broke off again. And you have two screws right here you want to loosen off from the manifold that goes into the carburetor. And it should just come off just like that, because I see no more hoses or anything else attached. So what I gotta do is just like break this loose, but I can't do it with, you know, one hand because I'm a weak little boy. So I had to resort to using a flathead to pry it back so I can get it loose, and it seems like it's working. All right, what a pain that was. The carburetor is out. Whew. Well, as soon as I was gonna tell you guys about the float bowl, gas just shot out everywhere because of the choke part that came off. But this right here is your float bowl. There's gonna be gas in there, like this bottom part, like right here, there's gas in there. So make sure you drain it and not on the floor where you're working, but gas dries quick. But You get what I'm saying. All right, so once you remove this, it's only 3 screws. Just make sure you don't strip the screws. These are your jets. Right here, you got your, I think this is your main jet, this is your idle jet. And when you order your intake system from the Ruck Shop, you do have the jets right here. So this would be my main jet, my idle jet, and I have the little shim for mid-range. So you want to install that as well so it doesn't bog under mid-range with all your added parts like your exhaust and then your CDI and then now this. That's what we're gonna do right now. All we need is a flathead screwdriver. We're gonna need something small for that one, but I think I have a flathead that small. And that's pretty much how you jet the carb. So pretty simple. One jet down, another one left to go. Out with the old and in with the new, boy. Okay, real quick, I was gonna call it a night, which I still am, but I'm gonna walk you guys through one of the steps right now since I decided to do it. Okay, so you know how we took this off, right? So when we flip on the other side, we have this. Now what's inside this thing is, this is the cap for it. There's 2 Phillips head screws. And then you have this thing that sits basically like this. So when you remove that cap, it looks something like this, but with a needle in it, which is that needle. So you don't want to remove the spring. This just comes off like that. And then right here, you can just be careful. Just lift up ever so lightly. And then there's usually, and like I said, this pin right here is basically sticking out of this. Now, in order to get the pin out, in order to put your washer on for your mid-range power, this is a 6mm socket size thing. You just want to lefty-loosey it. Just don't overdo it because you will break it. Loosen a little bit and just pull up, and then this whole thing will just come out with this. Now with this little washer, you just slide the little washer onto this thing right here. So the little washer will sit like right here, and then you just basically assemble everything you just disassembled. And that's pretty much how you do that part. Boom! It is done. Now we're gonna call it a night because this fuel is getting to my head and I feel sick to my stomach. So I will see you guys right about now. Boom! Next day, now we got some daylight, so let's finish up this Carburetor Jet install. Left everything out here overnight, so hopefully nothing got ruined. I'm not sure if you're not supposed to do it like this, but I think we're fine. So what I'm gonna do now is just basically put these jets in here. The long one is my main jet, the small one is my idle jet. Now that we just jetted the carb, now the step is just to put everything, put the 3 screws back on the cover and reassemble it back onto the engine, and that's pretty much it. So, booyah! Now for the install of the filter, all you have to do is just go right here to your carburetor and then just like that, and that's pretty much it. But make sure you put your actual clamp on it. So when you're looking at your carburetor, remember it goes right on this right here next to your choke and this sensor, so it's in between both sensors. Just slide it on with your clamp and you're good to go for that part. Now on to installing this, but we gotta actually put this back on before we can install that. Alright, so now that we got the carb all hooked up, everything's connected. Now it's time to install this custom intake. Now I'm assuming that this part of the intake goes right there on the carburetor, and this piece right here mounts off the transmission housing, like this bracket right here. I'm assuming, I don't know. Okay, so you guys probably won't believe me, but I actually mounted up and everything the way I wanted it to, and I texted Ryan the picture. He was like, yo, that's how you do it. I'm proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself. But I'm gonna walk you guys through on how to do it, even though it's like the simplest thing ever. So to install this is actually pretty simple. I put everything here just in case I don't lose it or like if it fall off when I'm trying to mount this onto the carburetor itself. But right here, I don't know if you guys can see, but right here there's a hole, well, an opening, and then that's where the end part of this goes on to. So now we got the intake hose on. Now it's time to bolt this to here. You see this? This is no bueno. In order to stay on, you could bend this bracket a little bit to your liking so you can have this tight around there so it doesn't like fall off or anything. Now to bolt this onto the transmission casing, they do provide the hardware needed. You got a 6mm washer with a M6 bolt, and you just want to just thread it in there, and that is all you do, boy. Voila, boys, our intake is on and secure. We is good to go. The only thing left is putting the seat back on and turning over the bike and see if it cranks. Well, starts, not crank, it starts. Now the bike might not crank because there's no fuel in the fuel bowl. I think it's called the bowl of where the fuel would be to crank it up. I don't know. The fuel bowl is a fuel rail for bikes, I'm assuming. So there's no gas in the fuel rail. I think what I'm gonna have to do is take off the bowl, put some gas in there. I don't know. Let me shut up and try to crank the bike. Maybe to turn on, maybe not. Let's find out. All right, let's see. Good luck to you. Dude, I'm so stoked to ride this thing. Ryan, bro, I just want to ride it. So the next install we have after this is the exhaust and the variator. I'm gonna do the variator first, then the exhaust last, and then we can ride this thing. Bro, I just want to ride it, bro. Oh my God, it sounds so good now, even with the loud exhaust. It sounds so good. It's coming together, bro. It's coming together slowly but surely. Look at that. Velocity stack, bro. I can't wait for it to hear them screams. Hear them screams. What's up, y'all? So that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's recap. Your boy became a bike mechanic overnight, bro. I took off my carburetor, I jetted the carburetor, and I also installed an intake performance kit. Only sad thing about this whole entire video, I can't ride the bike until all the parts are installed, so I make sure everything goes smoothly. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking.
Yo, Zosh, why don't you ride the bike now to make sure all the parts that you install now actually works correct?
Great point, random dude. I don't know. Nah, I'm playing. I'd rather it be a surprise to me to whether, like, the bike goes really fast or the bike goes really still, because I don't know if I'm installing the parts I'm saying I'm installing correctly. So I think I am, though. I really do think I am, because I'm just following the Ruck Shop's videos and everything seems that they did goes copacetic. So hopefully my build is going copacetic, son. I want to give a huge shout out to the Ruck Shop for supplying the parts for this video to make this video even possible. Link down below to the Ruck Shop and the parts that was used in today's video. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you guys did enjoy this video, what happens in Vegas stays. Smack that like button for me, that'd be greatly appreciated. Why am I so mad when I say, why am I so mad? Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.